Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at XRP then, shall we? It seems to be the only thing that's doing anything at the moment, so we might as well look at it, talk about it. So let's get stuck straight in then. So at the moment the 4 hourly is basically above this 61 cent zone, which is a horizontal of significance. It's not perfect, so you want to get a little higher than this, but so far we closed above there and we're trying to push above there again using the 7 simple on the daily as well, a rough guided area of support. The wicks show instability. This is the problem with XRP. Taking futures and leveraged positions on it is going to be pretty risky, especially with the market pulling back as it is. And so you've got to be careful, and I would advise against it. The best place to take any position on XRP is at like a major support from a lower area, because you can use inverse perpetual, so the futures that use XRP as collateral, which means that you can get, well, lots of people will be out there over leveraged with XRP, which can easily cause a massive shift in the price. That's why it behaves like a shitcoin, to be honest with you, when it comes to wicks at least anyway. But if we were to take away the cynicism from XRP, we can still be reasonably bullish. We've got incoming, yet not confirmed, golden crosses. Supports down at those 200 simples and exponentials exist at 54.5 cents and 54 cents flat. Also, the Bollinger Band Centre is sitting around that level too. Like I say, the golden crosses haven't happened yet, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just eyeing up a situation. We're not talking about it as in like, watch this video when buy XRP, go to the moon, thank you very much, good night. That's not what we're talking about. We're boiling down this chart as it seems to be one of the only green ones out there at the moment. So yeah, the momentum is still sort of dribbling away, but there is no bearish divergence on this daily, nothing like that. But it does look like it's sort of fading off a little bit. And if the market pulls back, you know that XRP can't handle it on its own, or you shouldn't expect it to handle it on its own. So have a look at the weekly then, because the weekly is still quite good as well, managing to close at, just below the 200 weekly, and so far we're above the 200 weekly. This is decent, all right? This is decent for long term, but does it come down first, or does it bounce back up first? Because if it does come down first, we've got most moving averages sitting down here again at that rough area of like 53.5 cents, and then 200 exponential at 50 cents, 50.7 cents. Momentum over here is actually quite good, so it's the first time we've really seen this in a long time, so a positive cross below the 0 point doesn't particularly matter, it's a good look for it, but look, way beyond massive breakout areas. This is turning out to be one hell of what could be a giant accumulation, or maybe the center of a breakout. Really, breakouts really for XRP at this stage are going to be weekly candle closes above 75 cents, and that on its own should take you to around $1.24 or something like that, roughly around those areas. So the weekly is okay for long term. Again, we're not talking millionaire starter kit, buy XRP today and have a great time. The main thing to think about, I suppose, at this point is going to be Bitcoin. So let's have a think about the XRP to Bitcoin chart. The 4 hourly is actually pretty powerful. We haven't got a pump signal confirmed on this yet. We tried to, but because it's such a crooked chart, we didn't actually get it. So we're waiting for the leading portion of the cloud to go green. We've got to make sure that the cheeky span and the price maintain their levels above the cloud, which so far is looking okay. Let's have a look at the daily. So this was always the goal, wasn't it, really? All the way up to the 200 exponential on the daily for the Bitcoin pair. We already had that, and then we pulled back and we surfed quite neatly the 10 exponential moving average. So looks to me like the Bitcoin pair is way neater than the tether pair. The tether pair is healthier, but the Bitcoin pair is neater. And if we respect the fact that it's neat, we have to also respect that we're about to, and we're very close to, hitting that major area of resistance. It's 969 sats. So we're almost there. Now, if you really want to talk about a change of behavior, you want to build a base above these areas. That's where things will get particularly exciting for XRP. Now, we don't have bearish divergence yet. I think it's likely that we will get it if we start to build a base above there. And that's fine, because if you get that, well, what I would expect, or what I would like to see, I'd also expect it, to be honest. There's your 200 exponential. Let's just say we start to build a base above there. You get retests of it like that. You get some lower highs like that. You get a Bollinger Band like that. and maybe you move up and then back down into it on the bearish divergence, giving you a support roughly at or just a little bit above where we are at right now. Again, it's a setup that I'd like to see. It's not a setup that I'm guaranteeing is going to happen. I can't see the future. Nobody can. But if you're not making plans to trade, then you're basically just trading blind. It's a gamble. So yeah, I like the setup at the moment. We've already hit the main target. But moving forward, if we build a base above here, it does extend the breakout. And you'd probably be looking to see moves, to be honest with you, 1,200, 1,400 sats. That's where you'd be targeting the next big move. And also at that point then you would be looking for a trend to build on this. And if a trend gets built, then you are actually looking for like big major moves. If we're talking for big major moves, we're not talking all the way up to here, you know, in your dreams. There is no way that this chart is going to tell you that that's what's going to happen. But over the last 3 weeks, there has already been a change of behaviour, and you know, I suppose the supports will be back down here on the weekly at 836 sats, so just shaving off just over 100 sats from where we are right now, a good 10% or more. And then that would be another area to try it from. You know, thinking about it, you know, moving Bitcoin into XRP. This chart is not overextended at all. In fact, it's halfway. So we could be looking for an immediate move up to 1,154. Top targets really are going to be 2,180, you know, 1,700. So there are some big targets ahead for XRP, but I'm not saying they're going to happen today. But the weekly on the Bitcoin pair looks good, and so I like it. And with that said, you know, we should expect higher highs on this one given enough time. So I mean, I can hear you talking, I can hear you thinking, because everybody wants crypto to make them billions of dollars or whatever. But let's just put it like this: you have, you know, a Bitcoin that you wouldn't mind flipping into something else. XRP is presenting in a way that might suggest you could double that Bitcoin, even if it was to move up over time towards the 200 simple moving average on the weekly, 1,700 sats. So if you were patient and you trusted this weekly and you thought about it and you were willing to take the risk, because it's risky, obviously, you've got to take the risk. There is no trade devoid of risk. Then what we'll be looking at here is going to be a move down and then up and then you double. So that means if you're careful and willing and you know okay with the risk, you might turn one Bitcoin into 2 Bitcoins over a prolonged period of time. Now that is a trade. I can tell you that. It depends. You know, obviously it doesn't have to be one Bitcoin. But yeah, I'm just putting it to you now, so it's easy maths. You could put one Bitcoin into XRP around about 850 sats if we come back down there again. And again, this is just a potential trade setup. And then you could wait for the trade to materialize over a period of weeks, months, maybe longer, and flip it for another Bitcoin. So you basically gained a Bitcoin. That's what this chart is saying is a possibility. It's not a guarantee, it's a possibility. And with that, to me, is an attractive trade, to be honest. Why wouldn't it be? I like Bitcoins. I would like to turn one Bitcoin into 2 Bitcoins. You know, I appreciate that this chart is a down-only chart, but I also understand that this chart is presenting in a way that it suggests that there's a decent risk. You know, there's a decent risk. The reward over the risk is decent. But again, XRP, well, she's a risky one, isn't she? She's a crazy one. Right, so I'm going to leave it with you there with that to think about. This isn't something that you want to jump into today. This is a potential setup for, like I say, weeks, months ahead. But when you put it nice and simply, you might be able to flip one Bitcoin into 2 Bitcoins. Then hopefully that makes sense to people who struggle to understand what it is I'm talking about here, and because I thought this was crypto. I thought you were supposed to be making 1 billion%. Yeah, some people do make 1 billion%, to be honest with you, and they are happy with taking enormous risk. For a little less risk, you could think about something like this, and like I say, 1 Bitcoin into 2 Bitcoins is, you know, it's not an unlikely scenario with a setup like this, but it won't happen tomorrow. It might happen in a month. It might happen in a year, but the chances of it happening are relatively high given this kind of setup. It's just time is going to be the big problem for most people, because patience does not come naturally to people who are, well, I suppose new to trading or or I'll probably just not cut out for it. It's the patience aspect of it, that, you know, the time aspect of it, that is usually the problem for most people. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. That's enough of that. Maybe I'll see you on the Patreon. There'll be one on Friday. Other than that, hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.